This is Drew with thepodcastingstore.com, your one-stop shop for all things podcasting and remote learning.
All right, so now that we have our backdrop and our lighting set up, or at least approximated to something that we can use, now we need to get the audio set up and get our computer set up so we can record directly into that while we're in the studio, and then edit that sound and video. Right now I'm using the Rode Wireless Go 2 and recording directly into the camera app on my phone, which is fine. I use that a lot on the go, but when I'm here I'd rather use OBS because I can set up different scenes and do a lot of different things that I don't then have to do later on in editing like I'm going to be doing with this. So the first thing that we are going to need is a microphone stand, and then we'll need the microphone, and then we'll need to connect all of that together into the computer. I've got the Hercules DG107B, that's going to be our mic boom stand. Now normally I would want to attach this to my desk if I could. This clamp doesn't quite go wide enough to attach. I've got a very thick top on my desk, but that's not a problem here. I have a shelf that I've got up here that I can connect this to, and that will also help to keep the microphone out of the shot so that I can do more without keeping that in the way. So take a look. I'm going to connect this up here, and this is the same shelf that the camera is on, as you can see. And so I just clamp it right like this. And then what I can do from there is some really cool stuff, because I can bring this out like this and then twist this around. So that's the rough setup that I'm going to have for my microphone. Now for the microphone, the one that I like to use is the Heil PR40. So I put the mic holder onto the boom stand. And then I put the microphone on. I'm not going to go too crazy with it right now, but my goal here, I used to keep it down low here and then it was in the shot the whole time. Well, the microphone doesn't care where it is. It doesn't care if it's above, it doesn't care if it's below. It just cares if it's getting the sound directly into it, which it is here. So by doing that, then the focus can be on me and not the microphone. Now, if I want the focus on the microphone, I can easily put it in there. But I found that I really like having this out of the way because then it also frees up desk space to do whatever I want. Now, normally what I would want to do, especially since this microphone, the PR40, has an XLR output, is I would want to go into an interface or a mixer or something of that sort. I'm only going to have one audio source, and I'm going directly into OBS, so I would really like it to be a USB audio source. So I can actually do that with a cable. And this is a fairly inexpensive cable here that Roland makes, and it goes XLR to USB. So I'm going to use that to go directly into my computer just to save a couple steps. Now, if I didn't have as good of a microphone, the PR40 is fantastic, I would probably want to go through an interface so I could adjust the gain and really shape the sound before it goes into the computer. I like the sound that this makes. It's a very high quality microphone, so I'm not worried about the source as far as that goes, and even if I was, I could adjust that in OBS. So I'm going to hook up this, and then I'll show you how the computer setup is going to work. Now the cool thing about the Hercules boom stand is it actually comes with these cable tamers, and I'm going to run this cable right around there so that way it's not drooping down into the shot or in any other way interfering with what I'm doing. And I'm kind of stealing them since I've got two of these stands between them. It comes with 3 of them, and I was using some of these at the show, and they are still in the crate somewhere, and I really don't need that many of them, but this is more than enough to accomplish what I'm doing. And then I'm going to thread this right through here, the bracket on my shelf, and then that'll come right down for where my computer is going to to be. So now I've got my microphone set up, and then the next thing that I'm going to need is my computer. Now, something that I really pride myself on is that my mobile studio can fit right here in this bag. So at all times, I've got my Rode Wireless Go 2, and I've got my smartphone and all of that stuff, and it's with me at all times. So that's how, when the moment strikes, when I'm out on the road and I want to make a video, I've got all the stuff with me. So I've got my computer right here. And then I've got my bag with all of my cables and power supply and such. So obviously I want to plug in my computer. I've got my USB hub. That way I can hook my microphone, my printer, my phone, so I can charge it or grab the video off of it once it's been recorded, or any of all that kind of stuff. I mean, a lot of computers are only going to have one USB port. A hub is really important so you can attach multiple devices at the same time. Otherwise, you're juggling back and forth, and that just becomes a problem. And then for recording purposes, another thing that I'm going to want to be able to do is monitor the sound. I love these Audio-Technica, the ATH M50X studio headphones. They're fantastic. The one thing I'll caution you with, it's got a removable cord, which is fantastic. You insert it like that. Make sure you turn it all the way. If you don't have it turned all the way, it's only going to activate one channel and not the other, and you're going to wonder what's wrong with your audio. You're going to go crazy chasing your tail, wasting hours and hours, and then re-recording your video, all because you didn't twist the cable just enough. Ask me how I know. So with that, I can plug directly into the headphone jack of the computer so I can monitor sound. And then the last thing I'm going to want for video editing is the Stream Deck. The Stream Deck integrates beautifully with OBS. And so when I'm doing live recording, that's how I can switch between scenes seamlessly and not have to have a crew. And it's a really, really, really great item to have. So if you don't have a Stream Deck and you're using OBS, you're doing yourself a major disservice, because it's going to make your life a lot easier. So that's it. Now, you can see here that none of that stuff's visible. I'm controlling everything that's on the screen here. All you're seeing is my backdrop, but now I've got the microphone hooked up, which I'm not recording into yet. I've got my computer down here so I can see everything that I'm doing, but the phone is out of the way and it's recording into that camera because that's more at eye level, and then I can control the angle and direction of that. And so let's do a little bit in OBS and see what this setup looks and sounds like. All right, so now we have everything hooked up through the computer, recording into OBS. I've got my headphones on so I can monitor everything that's going on. I've got my microphone up here just out of camera so that it's not in the frame. You can concentrate on me, which is where I want the focus to be. The smartphone is acting as a camera, and everything is running through the computer. So this is now my studio setup with my backdrop and with my lighting, and I can record whatever I want from here. So I hope that you found this instructional as to how you can create a home studio in a space that really wasn't designed for that and make some quality video with just a couple little tweaks here and there. If you have any questions, contact me, of course. I'd love to have some comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and thank you so much for watching.
If you're facing a unique problem with podcasting or remote learning, we can help. Reach out to us at thepodcastingstore.com and we'll see what solutions we can find for you. And if you like what you hear, do me a favor and tell a friend. Follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and sign up for our e-newsletter, and you'll never miss another podcast or video again. This is Drew with thepodcastingstore.com. Thank you for listening.